What's up? It's Kerry Wood again. At C-Wood on Sports on Twitter and IG. Back with you again with another version of Sports and Swag Soundbytes. Want to welcome you in. Thanks for joining me. Man, what can I say? I knew it was going to happen. We knew it was pretty much a matter of when and not if. And that when happened today. The Toronto Raptors firing Dwane Casey as head coach. And man, it's again, like I said, it was definitely not unexpected. It was very much expected. 3 years in a row, the Toronto Raptors have gone out hard to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. There was just no way something like this wasn't going to happen. And this wasn't in a way. Again, it was never a matter of if. It was a matter of when. Especially when you look at, if you kind of examine the Toronto Raptors, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now for a few minutes in this soundbite. Again, my name is Kerry Wood. You are listening to Sports and Swag Soundbytes. Sportsandswag.com. That is my website. Here on Spreaker.com and also on SoundCloud. Follow me again at C Wood on Sports on Twitter and IG. Also follow the Sports and Swag Report on Twitter and IG as well. It's pretty simple, at Sports and Swag Report. So, let's kind of talk about this thing for a little bit, man. There are going to be a lot of people that are definitely going to disagree with this move. There's no question about that, and it's totally understandable. On one hand, I definitely disagree with it myself. But then again, you have to kind of look at it from another angle. I was just looking at Twitter, as a matter of fact, and Stephen A. Smith put out a rant saying it was total BS. And, I can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. Well, I put it like this. One part of me can't argue with that. But another part of me will argue with that just a little bit. Because ultimately, I don't know how much blame you put on Dwane Casey. The last 3 seasons, man, it's not like they've been playing. It's not like they lost to a team that they weren't supposed to lose to. Well, technically that's true anyway. I mean, Toronto Raptors being the number 1 seed this season and Cleveland Cavaliers being the number 4 seed, obviously you think the number one seed comes in as the favorite, absolutely. But not in this case. No one favored the Raptors in this series. No one favored the Raptors last year, and definitely not the year before last season. I mean, it's the same old, same old. And by it being the same old, you're starting to talk about going into year 4. I mean, really, it's more than 4 years, but year 4, you're talking about maybe seeing LeBron again for the 4th season next year. And then you look at what's going on in Philadelphia. You look at what's going on in Boston. The Celtics are in the Eastern Conference Finals for a 2nd consecutive season. And they went through that. They've done that with Kyrie Irving injured. They've done that with Gordon Hayward injured. But yeah, here they are. You look at Philadelphia. The process continues in Philly, but guess what? The Sixers were just more competitive, even though it only went one more game. The Sixers were a hell of a lot more competitive than the Raptors were in their last series here in the second round of the playoffs. So when you start to look at all of that, man, something's got to change. And again, it's unfair that it's Dwane Casey, but there was no other change that was going to happen with this organization. Because if you look at the contract situation for their stars, I mean, if you look at DeMar Derozan, you look at Kyle Lowry, you look at Serge Ibaka, you look at the big center, Jonas Valanciunas. Three of those guys, Valanciunas, Lowry, and Ibaka, signed through 2020. And DeRozan signed through 2021. DeRozan still has one of the bigger contracts in the game out there, man. So you're not going to be able to make a splash in free agency, I don't believe. I don't know if you can trade any of these guys because obviously there are limitations. There's limitations mentally and physically to maybe all four players. Probably, and as strange as this sounds, as crazy as this sounds, Jonas Valanciunas is probably their more tradable piece right now. He's a big guy, 7-footer. He protects the rim pretty decent. He still hasn't really blossomed offensively, but when you look at Valanciunas probably being their most tradable piece, their most valued asset, because I mean, I don't know what you can do. I don't know how you can improve your basketball team. DeMar Derozan was obviously looked at as being that man. He was obviously looking at being the alpha dog on this basketball team, but obviously that's not the case. I mean, it's painfully obvious that he is not it. Kyle Lowry is not it. Serge Ibaka, it was a surprise to me that the Raptors signed him to such a huge contract in the offseason last year, the same year that they signed Kyle Lowry to that big contract. You know, I thought Ibaka would pretty much just be a rental last year when they got him at the trade deadline. I thought he'd be a rental, and that was it for one season, but they come back and they keep him for another year. And, but, you know, actually on one hand, I can understand that as well, because who are they going to get to play that position? They're looking at Ibaka being a guy that can guard LeBron, a guy that can be that defender on one end, but also at the other end, Ibaka still looked at as one of the more versatile players in the game. You know, at least at that position. I mean, you could argue he's one of the 10 or 15 best small forward, power forward kind of guys that can shoot the basketball from the perimeter, put it on the floor, maybe can put him in the post here and there. Not all the time, but you know, he gets the right matchup. He can exploit some matchups where you can put him in the post. You can do a lot of things with Ibaka. So while there are a lot of those guys in the NBA, a lot of those guys in the NBA aren't going to be necessarily available to the Raptors. So I don't really blame them for signing Ibaka. But is all of that Dwane Casey's fault? No, I don't know. I'm sure Dwane Casey had to at least sign off on it, right? I mean, this Dwane Casey thing, man, like I said, Stephen A. called it BS. And like I said, I don't, one part of me definitely does not argue with that at all. But one part of me has to look at it like this. When you're looking at, I mean, let's just say you're a big time, you don't know, you're a Fortune 500 company, a big corporation or whatever on Wall Street or something like that, and your bottom line isn't being met. And matter of fact, that bottom line is being met by the corporation up the street, which is LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. What are your stockholders going to keep saying? What are your stockholders going to do about that? What are they going to say? What are they going to think if you don't make any moves at all? Those stockholders are the Toronto Raptors fans. Let's just be real about it. I mean, I don't know how many they would have lost or whatever coming into next season. I can't really say that. But the one thing that is lost is the confidence in the team. And again, I don't know who they're going to hire. I mean, there are a lot of guys out there. Right now, the early favorite seems to be Jerry Stackhouse, who coaches the the G League team, and is doing a fantastic job. It looked like he would be a good fit. It makes a lot of sense for it to be him. But then you're talking about a guy that has no NBA coaching experience, not head coach anyway. So I don't know, man. The outlook for the Raptors is a cloudy one at best. It's a cloudy one, at best. And I don't know what they can do to bring a little sunshine to their life. I don't know what they can do. Not much with the roster, like I said. I mean, next 3-4 years, that's going to be your core players right now. Unless you find a sucker to trade them to, man. DeMar Derozan looks like damaged goods on the way to me, at least when it gets to playoff time. Same for Kyle Lowry, and actually he played a little bit better this time around than he played the last 2 or 3 playoff seasons. I don't know, man. I don't know. 2019 is coming up, and the Raptors are going to be, again, they're going to be behind the 8 ball. They're going to be looking up for sure at Boston and Philadelphia. One of those 2 teams, barring major injury or anything like that happening, those are going to be your 2 top teams next year in the Eastern Conference. I mean, that is unless LeBron, I don't know, if he stays in Cleveland, wherever he goes, if it's in the Eastern Conference, which he'd be a fool not to stay in the Eastern Conference. The way he's rolled through it the last several seasons. I just don't see how Toronto gets, in the top tier of the conference again next season. I don't see how it happens. This is a very, very huge moment for the future of this basketball team, this franchise. And I don't know. I can't say that they made the right move today, but I can say that a move probably needed to be made. I'm just gonna put it like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this for a few minutes talking about the Toronto Raptors, the Dwane Casey firing, and for their, cloudy outlook going into 2019. Again, my name is Kerry Wood, at C Wood on Sports, on social media, Twitter, Instagram, at Sports and Swag Report. Like the Facebook page, visit the website. I think you'll like what you see there. And again, be on the lookout for more of these, man, here on Spreaker.com, SoundCloud. It is Sports and Swag Soundbytes. Till next time, I'll holler.